First audio.
On this episode of This Teenage Life, we remember what we miss about being a kid. When you're older, some of the things you maybe miss about childhood may seem small. Those bath toys, your obsession with dinosaurs. But when you dig into it, it's less about the things themselves, and more about how you saw the world through new and unjaded eyes, having such wonder and taking such pleasure in stuff that now just feels normal. Sometimes, when it comes to childhood, people say they miss the little things. Sometimes they say they miss their appreciation for the little things. And sometimes they say they miss being able to do things that they feel are no longer socially acceptable, now that they're teenagers.
Yeah. When I was little, I used to feel like I could just go and start running whenever I wanted to, but now it's like, I gotta put on a sports bra, and then I have to make sure that my pits aren't that sweaty, and it's just so much harder to be active.
And while a lot of us miss being a kid, some of us don't. I mean, there are some perks to being a teenager.
Second audio.
It's recording now? So the question is what I miss about being a kid. I don't miss anything. I have so much more independence now. My parents got me a bus pass and I can go visit my relatives whenever I want. So now I can go by myself and go, do stuff. Go visit my grandparents and I can spend the day with them. Go to my uncle's house, my aunt's house. It's really cool.
So you don't miss anything about being a kid?
No, nothing. What would I miss?
Playing?
I still play. Why would you stop playing?
Being a teenager may not be as sweet as being a kid, but alas, at least there are bus passes.
I just kind of miss having fun everywhere, because I remember whenever I went grocery shopping with my grandpa, we'd always play hide and seek. So it'd be in the middle of Costco, but I'd run between the aisles to try to find him, and then he'd pretend to duck around a corner, and then I'd run all the way across the other aisle just to find him basically. And I used to do that a lot, and sometimes it's kind of sad because sometimes when I see him, he'll always be oh, we never play hide and seek anymore, you don't want to play with me anymore. And it's more not the fact that I can't, it's just that I don't find as much joy into doing it as I used to, because I used to laugh into hysterics when I found him. It was the most amazing thing to just have so much fun in a grocery store.
Oh my gosh, you know what else is great? I never had to carry my own jacket. My mom would carry my jacket for me because she knew I would forget. And people would put my shoes on for me because I couldn't tie my own shoes. People would tie your shoes all the time.
Once the beds were made, I'd lay down right beside the bed, and my dad would grab my feet and my mom would grab my arms, and then they'd swing me, and they'd go 1, 2, 3, and then they'd throw me onto the bed, and it was the best experience ever because I was flying, and then I'd land on the soft pillows.
Sometimes when I'm underwater, I still pretend I'm a whale. But for the most part, playing pretend is a thing of the past. We reflected on our childhood pretenses.
I used to make food and meals out of the stuff in my garden for my grandparents, and I'd make them tacos and actual mud pies, and I'd make them different meals and stuff, and I'd be oh, this is taco de la slug or something, and I'd put little flowers and crunch the leaves up together, and I'd have them pretend to eat it in front of me.
My grandma would be out on our front porch smoking a cigarette, and I would always go and just give her leaves and be it's earrings, Grandma, it's earrings. But I would do it probably I don't know, 100 times an hour, and each time she'd be thank you, and I'm chuck them.
Oh god. The other day I was scrolling through Facebook because my mom said I shared something to your page, so I went to go look, and it was a video from 2011, and it was me performing my theater production at school, but alone in my room, me recording myself singing and dancing to the songs. And so I was watching it, and I was I did that a lot as a kid, where I would record my sisters and I putting on a performance, I'd make my mom record our concert for her, and I would just go through her page, and it's all old videos of us dressing up and singing Hannah Montana. But if I did that now, people would be really weirded out, so that's something I definitely miss.
I'm Molly Josephs, and this is this week's episode of This Teenage Life.